Chosen one, this message is not for everyone. And you already know that, because your whole life, you felt it. You felt different before you had language for it. You felt separate before you understood why. You felt like you were watching the world instead of fully belonging to it. You weren't broken, you were marked. Chosen ones are not chosen because they are better. They are chosen because they can carry weight. And you have carried weight since you were young. Emotional weight, spiritual weight, responsibility that was never supposed to be yours. Some of you grew up too fast. Some of you learned silence early. Some of you learned how to read rooms, moods, energy, before you learned how to rest. That wasn't an accident. Chosen ones are trained early, not gently, but through contrast, because power without awareness becomes destruction, and awareness is forged through pressure. That's why your path has been harder than others. That's why you've been misunderstood. That's why you've been isolated. That's why you've been attacked, subtly or directly. That's why people projected onto you. They didn't see you. They felt your frequency. And people react to what they don't understand. But listen closely now. The greatest danger to a chosen one is not the world. It's the voice they adopt inside their own head. Because somewhere along the way, you learn to speak to yourself harshly. You learn to downplay yourself. You learn to joke about your pain. You learn to criticize yourself before others could. That was a survival strategy. But survival is not your destiny. And here's the truth most chosen ones never hear. When a chosen one speaks negatively about themselves, it doesn't just hurt confidence. It delays alignment. Your words are not casual. Your thoughts are not neutral. Your inner dialogue is not harmless. You were not built to speak carelessly. You were built to direct. That's why I'm giving you this challenge, not as motivation, but as activation. For 7 days, chosen one, do not let anything negative come out of your mouth. Not about yourself, not about yourself, not about your body, not about life. Because your nervous system is listening, your subconscious is listening, your future is listening. You think words are small, but repetition creates identity, and identity shapes reality. You have between 60,000 and 90,000 thoughts every single day, and most of them are the same ones you had yesterday. That means, if your life feels like a loop, it's because your language has been looping. Chosen ones don't get stuck because they lack effort. They get stuck because they haven't cleaned their inner speech. And once you see this, you can't unsee it. Every time you say, "I'm tired of my life," your body hears, "Prepare for burden." Every time you say, "I'm unlucky," your mind hears, "Stop expecting expansion." Every time you say, "I always mess things up," your subconscious hears, "Don't try." And you wonder why things slow down. It's not punishment. It's instruction being followed. Now listen, this part matters. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. Chosen ones don't bypass reality. This is about discipline, spiritual discipline, mental hygiene, self-respect. If you wouldn't speak to a child that way, do not speak to yourself that way. Because the child you once were is still inside you, still listening, still learning what love sounds like. And for many of you, love was inconsistent. So your nervous system learned vigilance instead of peace. That's why calm can feel unfamiliar. That's why silence can feel loud. That's why happiness can feel temporary. Your body learned to wait for impact. But you are not in that environment anymore. And yet your language keeps recreating it. That's why the challenge is 7 days. 7 days is enough to interrupt the pattern, not erase it, interrupt it. And interruption is how rewiring begins. The first 2 days will feel uncomfortable. Your mouth will want to complain. Your mind will want to criticize. That's not failure. Negativity fights back when it's no longer fed. By day 3, you'll start catching yourself mid-sentence. That pause, that awareness is power. By day 5, your energy will feel lighter, your reactions slower, your thoughts less aggressive, not because life changed, but because you stopped attacking yourself. And by day 7, you'll notice something subtle but real. You feel more inside your body, more grounded, more present. That's alignment beginning. Chosen ones do not rise through force. They rise through coherence. When your thoughts, words, and actions begin pointing in the same direction, life responds. Not instantly, but inevitably. Now hear this clearly. If you slip, do not shame yourself. Shame is also poison. You don't restart next week. You restart in the next sentence. That's mastery. The power is not perfection. The power is recovery. Chosen one, you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stabilize frequency. You were meant to walk into rooms and shift energy without trying. But you cannot do that while your inner world is hostile. So clean your language. Protect your mouth. Honor your thoughts. This is not about positivity. This is about command. And if you feel this message in your chest, if something in you feels calm but alert, that's recognition. You know who you are. You're just remembering. If you are truly one of the chosen ones, type "I know who I am" in the comments. If you're taking the 7-day challenge, comment day 1 today and come back each day. Share this with another chosen one who's been doubting themselves quietly. Save this, your mind will try to forget. And follow, because the next message is about why chosen ones awaken late and rise fast. Stay grounded, stay aware, stay sovereign.